Okay, do the thing. How do you do the thing? Like the
Yeah,
full.
so in Shaolin, but it's mostly Kalari. Shaolin, you could also like do back like that too. But in
Okay.
Kalari, you sit in
Okay.
horse stance like this, put your hands like this way, right? And then you kind of crack it like that.
Oh. Oh, yeah. You hear that?
Little bounce with your legs too.
Oh.
Yeah, but you're standing, you're in horse stance,
Yeah. Okay. Got it.
Wahoo.
Or as the Koreans call it, Gangnam style. Okay, that's pretty good. That's pretty good indeed.
Yes,
That was straining your back. Is that what it does? Or just popping it?
It would just align your spine in the right way, because you could crack your back anyway, but then like it'll misalign it, if you crack it the wrong way.
That's the way to do it. Oh. All right, my back's already starting to feel better just from that little bit. I gotta do a little. I gotta get more space in here so I can stand properly.
Same here too.
Guys, this is Sabri. Sabri's joining Synctank. What's up? How you doing? Started as a Brahmin, now we're here.
Started as a Brahmin, now we're here, man.
So it's kind of interesting. There's an interesting connection, Eddie. You know a little bit, I'm sure, about like Chinese medicine.
A bit. I know some cop serves that really work.
What is pop syrup? Was that all that? What is it about though?
Well, no, it's well, this is one that I'm drinking right now. It's called oh my god, I don't even have the English translation. But you can go to any local Chinese market.
Make a cough syrup out of like Chinese medicine stuff. What's it? Mushroom, reishi? What's in there?
No,
Lingxi?
No. Okay. Well, I'm trying to find. Give me a second. I need to look up that link real quick.
Dude, what kind of Wacom tablet do you have, by the way? I mean, he's always just sitting there, just like that's so based. He's just like an artist.
Yeah, this is a 24-inch HD. It's a Wacom tablet. It's 12 years old actually. Trust me. It's very sturdy.
They made the best then. I'm pretty sure you're set for life if you've got a 12-year-old Wacom tablet, though. Like the one with the screen built in, that's pretty fancy, you know?
Yeah. Oh, so cool dog.
Oh, dude, who's this?
This is Navika. She's in heat right now, and I'm going to breed her with my friend's like mom's Yorkie, maybe. I don't know, make some husky coyote Yorkies, perhaps.
Interesting. All right. Very cool.
Thinking about it, but also going to India pretty soon, too.
That's true. You're talking about going to India. So what's going on? So we're gonna go see your parents? Did your mom move to India, or what's going on?
Yeah, my parents moved to India. Yeah.
Yeah. So where are they at? And you visited already, and you came back. What's been going on? What do you want to do when you go back?
Yeah, man. They're in Chennai, and I visited for 2 months, and I came back for a month now.
I told everybody about the monkey thing where you got a monkey from an untouchable. I mean, you can tell that story better than I can. What's up, Giant's here? How you doing, Giant?
Yo.
Dude, Sabri, this is my buddy Sabri. Giant knows a lot about the Veda. Sabri's this episode's called Started as a Brahmin, Now We're Here. So we're able to go into some stuff. Sabri's about to move back to India for a while. He's all over the world. Like he's a Brahmin, you know what I mean? He flies. So
very cool.
I was trying to tell the story about his monkey, and I'm pretty sure I can't tell it perfectly, so you're gonna have to tell it for me. You went and you met an untouchable lady what was the deal with the monkey? You saved a monkey's life. That's how I remember it.
In one sense I did, and in one sense I like got the monkey taken away from me by Blue Cross and
animal control.
But then there was like its only exhibit was like in the same state, and in a zoo, and so it was kind of a sad story. But basically my brother and I were just kind of like trying to get weed, that's how it all started. And we're living in Chennai, and our beach is more like a posh beach, and then you got to go to like where the college is.
Walk me through Chennai really quickly. So like Chennai is basically fancy. Yeah, on one side of the street you've got a temple, the other side you have the internet.
Yeah. So I was living in some place called Kottivakam, which is Kottittivakam. Yeah.
Whoa. Is your little ice cream stand or something? Dang.
I don't even know what that is. It's like a police station or something.
Chennai's really close to the beach, and you guys there's like a part of it that has the highest speed internet, and this is a financial district, right?
And then when you find the weed, Yeah, all of that is present all over. Chennai is a big place. You see Ferraris and Lamborghinis everywhere.
Capital city of Tamil Nadu, largest city area. There's a lot of money, and there's some it's a coastal area, and they've got the Tamil film industry. Very fancy place actually in India.
Yeah, I went there for college. I went there to learn classical Indian music and martial arts.
The sweet logo. It infers that they use Apple products just in the logo. That's hilarious.
Yeah, you can tell.
What
So
kind
where I bought the monkey was in Marina Beach, and that's like the longest beach in Asia. Basically, it's like a popular beach. It's called Marina Beach in Chennai. Yeah.
Yep. And it's beautiful, and kind of a chill area.
So my brother and I, we finally find weed from these orphan beggar boys that have miniature horses and they try to get couples to ride them on the beach for whatever, a couple bucks. And they had weed, and they took me to under their tunnel where they live, in this dirty part of right around there, actually, across the street. And if you go down that way to the left, there's it's called Kuvam R, Kuvam, and then river or whatever, Kuvam River, Chennai. Yeah, I've seen all sorts of crazy stuff there, but yeah, that's basically, it's super polluted river. And then I was actually teaching them. I bought chalk, and I was teaching them the alphabet and shit under the tunnel, and smoking weed with them and buying them sweets and shit like that. I was kind of young too.
Right.
Were you born in India?
I was born in France.
Oh, okay.
But my mother is Indian. My dad is North African. And I moved to LA when I was 7 and grew up in Los Angeles.
Is your mother Tamil?
My mother is Tamil, yeah.
Let me show everybody. So the way
Tamil Dravidian. Oh my God! Okay, wait, you got to see this.
Dravidian.
This is my commercial when I was a kid. This is my Chinese girlfriend, Wei Yu. She's a
Chinese girlfriend. I call
her Queenian.
When I was young, I remember seeing this commercial, and then it was probably 10 years later that I actually met the guy in the commercial. Look at that! There he is. Here he comes again. Hold on.
Level 1 Gundam.
Level 1 Gundam. And there's his dad. There's his dad making sure everything's on the up and up.
That's not my real dad, though. That's my kid.
It's blurry. It's blurry, so I can't. But yeah, so I remember I was like, dude, I got a Gundam recently. He's like, yeah, I used to be in a Gundam commercial. I was like, wait. And at this point, we'd been friends for 5 or 6 years already at this point already. And I was like, wait, you were in that commercial? Because I finally got to the point where I could buy a Gundam when I was 24 or something like that. But I'd wanted it since I'd seen the commercial, and I was like, oh, dang, you must have had so much Gundam. And you're just like, no.
Dude, my parents didn't let me get the PlayStation 2 or whatever, or the Gundam Wing game. With the
Too much violence. Too much violence.
I was like, I made this money. I was like, let me buy this Gundam. I was like, Gundam is what's feeding you right now.
Dude, it's not that there's anything wrong with that Dharma. It's just it wasn't your Dharma.
It wasn't my Dharma, dog.
It was. I don't know.
Yeah, so let me get back to the monkey story. Basically, we finally find weed from this Trash River boys with
Trash River, yeah.
And they have miniature horses and shit. There's weird shit there, bro. There's peacocks, there's thousands of deer digging through the trash, eating fucking grass and shit, in the sunset. You're like, what the fuck am I looking at? But it's really, it's it's nature and trash just coexisting basically in big cities. But yeah, so my brother and I, we finally got the weed where we go to the beach and we're smoking weed on the beach, and then this beggar girl comes, and she is I think Bhojpuri. They're different, and they are untouchable tribe. But she had red hair, red frizzy hair. She's dark black skin, almost purplish, and her eyes are blue green, bright.
How do you spell the tribe? Boga what?
BHOJPURI, I think.
Bhojpuri. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, so obviously, so much of India is
Rajasthan. Basically from Rajasthan, Rajasthani gypsies. That's what she was, and that's the Bhojpuri was the name of the language she was speaking. But yeah.
Wow. I mean, because the amount of you're Tamil, right?
I'm Tamil. Yeah. I'm Berber and Dravidian mostly. but I have.
So you have all these groups of people that are kind of, there's like a conquered, you have British people, and then you have the Indo-Aryans. There's all these people, in a different hierarchy. So here's a redhead girl, black-skinned redhead girl who's part of a group that they're calling the Untouchables. Okay, and she's got a monkey?
She's got a monkey. She's a beggar. Her dad caught the monkeys in the forest, and they like hopped on a train apparently. And my brother somehow spoke this, like, because he spent some time in northern India. So he was like totally talking to this chick, and I was just like, what the hell is going on? And he's like, yo, we need this monkey. And she's like, no, like she wasn't trying to sell the monkey. She was just trying to ask money, And then he was like, yo, give me the monkey. And she's like, this is my monkey. And then he pulled out 1,000 rupee note, and it was like this huge like red bill with 1,000.
The money's bigger the currency, right?
It was back then before the new guy like took out all the black money and changed all the bills and made it smaller. Like back then it was like way bigger, like maybe like 10 years ago.
Yeah, you couldn't fit it in your wallet if you're.
It's literally like it was like $20. 1,000 rupees was $20 back then, and like the red one, that one.
Yeah. Is it higher or lower now? The exchange rate.
It's even lower, I think. Yeah, it's probably like.
I think that's why.
$8 monkey,
I think that's why Apple is moving to India right now. China's getting expensive.
I'm feeling India too. This last time I went there, I really got into the Indian cannabis and Indian media, as well as just like hotel and nightlife scene in Goa. And I'm really believing in it's the right move to kind of start things in India right now, or move things to India.
India westernized really fast. You have to imagine how quickly India, but then there's some problems there. Like you got to be careful. You don't want to get in a car accident and have a mob come out and kill you just because you didn't fulfill your dharmic purpose or something. There's a lot going on.
Some places can be like that, but basically money talks, and everybody's racist there to themselves and like not to the white people. So if you're like white and you're there doing things, you can pretty much get away with anything.
So the caste system is still enforced? Is the caste system still enforced there?
Not really, but in the ways of like benefits.
Bro, you just spent $20 on a monkey from a redhead. I'm pretty sure that.
Yeah, I spent $20 on a monkey. That monkey was amazing.
That means the caste system exists. If you've got people that are so poor that they've got gypsy monkeys and it's because of their race, what does that say other than the caste system still exists?
Yeah, I mean, I did say it doesn't exist, but I'm saying that there's like how I experienced it was like my friends who were of the scheduled caste, like they would get government benefits, they could get scholarships and things like that. But so far as a general like public, like everybody's friends with everybody, and they're not really like, oh, we can't touch you. There's no like group like hate on the streets or something like that. Like
okay. Yeah,
you can friendlier over there than anywhere else, and religions have been coexisting for thousands of years.
There's equality, maybe like the caste. It's not necessarily that they're untouchable anymore. It's just that they're another caste. Okay.
Yeah, most of the people who were that became other religions, and then became touchables.
So you have to just assimilate into other. That's interesting.
Yeah, I'm equal in this one. They're like, all right, well, I guess you're good,
That's interesting, man. So you grew up with a lot of different beliefs than maybe your average American, right? Kind of Vedic and Hindu.
I moved here, at the age of 7, and my first day here, I ended up getting like casted into a TV show. I went to Trader Joe's and like picked a yogurt, and some white dude was like, "Perfect, hello, I'm so and so, and I can pimp out your kid," type of thing.
Right.
And then like my parents were like,
no.
Pimping out the kid is not enough. We could pimp out the whole neighborhood and like everybody. There's no, they found a niche and created.
Oh, they became casting directors because of that. That's how.
Pretty much. And so my childhood was spent like kind of recruiting like people for movies and like different religious institutions. So I was like in like the Sikh like Punjabi places. I was like in like the freaking Egyptian Coptic Catholic places.
It's really funny. It's really funny.
I was in White Sea. Did
Grandma's
you just find
Boy.
my mom on Grandma's Boy?
Yeah, I was just saying, my favorite is
God.
when your mom's in Grandma's Boy blows my mind. And your dad, your mom, is
Oh
your
my
mom
God,
right there?
it's my dad on Grandma's Boy.
And they're like, the whole scene, they're like,
You're
we don't want to
trolling
be
my
eating
family hard, bro.
vegetarian food. And they're just like, they're eating vegetarian food in the back. That's so good.
That's so
Yeah.
sick. My dad still wears that. Some
Not
funny
bad.
shit. No,
But-
no, you're good. Did you also like turn me into like Lord Shiva and put it on Google or something?
That's
like that?
true. If anybody looks for Shiva memes now, it often looks like Sabri because of some deep fakes, which my bad.
God.
But also I think I did Rama too. I think I did Rama.
You
Yeah.
did some Ramas too?
Yeah,
Thanks,
yeah.
man.
Out of respect, right?
Yeah,
You know?
respect. Yeah, my brother sent it to me and my dad and all these people. They're like, "Yo, look what we found on the internet." And I was like, "That's gotta be Andreas." I was like, "Who else would do this?" That's gotta be Andreas.
That's a lot of people in a
If
temple.
it wasn't
seeing
you, I'd be
as their
terrified.
god.
It's like someone who's trolling me hard. I was like, "What's going on?" Like, I pray it's Andreas that did this. Like, oh my God.
But what are the rules? Okay, so like, what are the rules with your religion? So it seems like you're not allowed to eat
Uh,
meat. Like,
Yeah, I
what
don't think I'm
happens
allowed
if
to
you eat-
like. I mean, I think we're allowed to like kind of be God, but like not to that extent. Like it might be offensive if somebody, like if my mentors saw, they might be like, "What the hell?" Or they might.
Well,
think
you
it's
know, we're all
great.
in effigy, I guess. It depends. Yeah, it's not your fault. You didn't do it on purpose.
I
It just
didn't
happened.
do it.
You know, you just became, in my mind, it was the best effigy you could do. But I mean, what about like, okay, so what happens if your religion, you know, you sin or something like that? Like, so you know, like you're supposed to be a vegetarian. What happens if you like eat meat? Like, you know,
It and the. It's a lot to do with like 13. Like basically, like in the 13th chapter in the Bhagavad Gita is about the meat thing, and then like in the 13th canto of the Bhagavatam is about the sinning thing. But basically, all living things are food for other living things. And it's just pretty much like where you want to be, like refine yourself on that spectrum. Like just because carrots don't have eyes that you see or whatever doesn't mean they don't feel pain and sentient. Like every living thing is a sentient being that has everything that everybody else feels, and just because we don't know it, it doesn't mean it's not there. So but yeah, it's just based on refining yourself and picking out what you like in life and what you don't like and how you want to be. But yeah, you're born into your family for a reason, and it's always good to honor where you come from, fate, and then also honor your destiny as well, your destination. Sometimes your studies will lead you to different paths, and we're all interconnected, and truth is everywhere. I vibe with all sorts of different truths that my family would find.
but if you ate, like, so let's say like you didn't know you ate meat or something like that. Like, have you ever accidentally eaten meat or anything
I've
like
accidentally eaten meat. I've been upset about it. I grew up as like a Hare Krishna kind of, and they teach you to be a total dick about like just everything kind of, and then
Don't you have like a top ramen story? What happened with that?
I don't really remember the top ramen story.
I remember there's like a dude who like was like, "Hey, Sabri, you like this? You like what you're eating?"
Oh, that was in high school. Oh my God, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, someone like tricked you into.
Then I tricked them and I called immigration on the phone and scared the shit out of all these little Mexicans. Right, they started crying and shit because they put beef jerky powder. They put beef jerky powder in my top ramen. And
no!
And I was like, "It's so good," and I like ate the whole thing. And then
they were like,
and then
it's the blood of the brain of a cow. You're like, wait,
what? Jerky powder, dog.
Planting the seed of
and
karma.
I was like, oh yeah. And I was like, pull out my phone and like call Migra, like call immigration.
Oh my God.
Speakerphone, and then like tell them and shit about whatever.
No, it was like a pretty huge deal though, because like you can't just ask for forgiveness or something for eating meat or what. Like, Giant, you're a vegetarian and you understand the Veda. What's the deal with this, like the karma thing?
Yeah, as far as I understand, karma is just something that is, whatever your path is, whatever you're supposed to be doing, if you go off of that, then it's going to have some sort of repercussions. But you could be something that's, what we consider evil, and that is your path. And then, so therefore, you're not going to get anything negative or any kind of, you're not going to hit any walls. There's not going to be something coming back to you because that's what you're supposed to be doing, right? Everybody has their
I think we all like generate our own karma, from what we think is right or wrong. And it's all from inside of us. I don't think there's an outside power that's like has a list and saying, "Oh, that was fucked up. We're gonna get you now."
Yeah.
It's like what you thought was fucked up and you did. And there's also break it down into like two types, like kamya and nishkamya, and there's like the logistic and then the heart, so that you could do the thing wrong by accident, but but if you like did it with your pure heart, God is down. Like, people have offered gods like Krishna doesn't even eat onion and garlic, but people have offered him meat before, but because they were so sweet, he was like, all right, I'm down type of shit, so
I have a little funny story with beef myself. I mean, nothing religious, but I was, around the college year, when the second year, I decided I was born in the year of the ox, the Chinese zodiac, right? So I'm like, why the hell am I eating cow? I'm a cow. So I just decided this is about time that I think consider that. But then one day at the cafeteria in the college, and I was okay, this is my last burger. I'm just gonna buy the burger, and then I took a bite of it, and then this blood just pouring straight out of the burger. It dripped all over my white shirt. So I was walking out of the cafeteria like somebody just slashed my throat. And that was it. That was like, oh, for sure, I'm gonna stop eating beef. And I curbed my beef consumption for 7 years straight.
Wow.
But somehow I got back to it. Oh, I was influenced also because I was working at McDonald's around that time during summer. So that really just disgusting.
Like that's the end of that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, that's crazy.
Wow. So that was the patty raw? Like, how did it get bloody?
Because it's a school cafeteria, so it just it's undercooked, but it's just like super juicy and
or it's like the hemoglobin. The hemoglobin is red too. I think a lot of people think it's blood when it's just the juices, but still, it's iron juice from meat.
I didn't die.
I was a total dick about it until I was like in the Amazon and like kicking it with some shamans and like doing ayahuasca and shit. And I was like, nothing has to be for me to survive. I was like, no death on my breath. And like, and then the fool was like, bro, like these vegetables are just as sentient as these animals.
Yeah, you're just like date raping a carrot right now, and also all the billions of microbes. I think that's my favorite part. Is like literally eating a vegetable or eating something with fertilizer. All of the microbes. If you eat sauerkraut, that's basically genocide, right? You just
straight up. I just ate some like Polaris ants earlier, like these like Chinese like ants, just a little bit, like with the mezcal. And I was like, really, because I've never tried it before. I don't really eat meat at all. And the last time I tried meat was like 2 years ago. I tried a piece of alligator. And then
the alligator is great. In Peru, you were in Peru or the rainforest, right?
I was in New Orleans when I did that.
Oh, okay. Well, respect. Yeah. See, like alligator in Peru is like $1 a pound or something like that. You get the whole leg, the arm, the tail, and it's not like it's at a certain point you have to understand they're eating everything else as well. Like they're hyper predatorial.
Yeah, like, even though it's like bigger and meat, like I was kind of thinking it was worse to eat this like powder like of 1,000 souls just for like a tequila shot or something.
Right. Yeah, you're only killing one thing if you kill an alligator, and it's killing less things when it's dead than if you were to kill like millions of microorganisms that would feed the soil. I don't know. There's a weird irony.
But also, like when you're growing plants, like you need to use bone meal and blood meal and things that people usually get from slaughterhouses.
That is not. Look at that freaking face. Growing. I don't trust pandas. All right. Then look at this guy right here. I don't know.
Oh,
is he eating Pumbaa? Is that straight up?
That's a warthog.
That looks like a pig. Yeah, it's a warthog, bro.
Yeah.
That's pretty brutal. I don't know. Pumbaa. It seems like that is a Timon or Pumbaa. Which one's the pig? I thought Pumbaa was the.
Yeah, Pumbaa is.
Yeah. I mean, so all of nature. This is nature. Nature likes to eat itself. Nature is very consuming.
Yeah, but we're more closer to like primates, like that a lot of them don't really eat that much meat.
Sure, like the giant, like the gorilla, for instance. How big is the? People talk about how big you can get if you're a vegetarian. Look at that dude's booty. Like, I mean,
zebras, gorillas, rhinoceroses, and shit. They're fucking
Giraffe.
have zero cavities.
Vegetarians are doing all right. Got to admit it. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I mean, and I think vegetarianism is tight. I believe in vegan like food and like cooking it and restaurants and like feeding homeless people and stuff like that. But also, I want to have more access to people. And I have friends that cook meat and that want to help the world as well. So I will have a section.
This kind of reminds me of that Liver King guy, the guy who claimed that he eats all like raw liver. That's like a super buff, man. Right? Well, it just came out that
would probably do that. I guess.
Yeah, but he admitted that he's a scam. He said that he was doing steroids. He was
everything, all the steroids, not just.
He was doing them all. And so he was using liver as that's hilarious.
That was a selling point, yeah. And now he's getting on all the talk shows. I'm so sorry, I never ate that much. but he just like basically, the liver didn't really give him all that muscles, but that's what he tried to say.
Meanwhile, gorillas aren't taking steroids, so there's something.
The gorilla looks like South Indian almost.
Yeah, that's interesting. I don't know. I mean, the idea that we're all kind of we have consumed genes.
Aboriginal.
Well, there's a thing with like Native Americans say like you eat an eagle eye and then you get the eagle eye. That there's a bunch of what do you call these metazoas that consume other life forms. Metazoa. Am I spelling this wrong? Yeah, there we go. Okay, so once they consume some of these other things, some of that DNA works its way into the siphonophoric system, and so some hunters and gatherers say, hey, if you eat your prey, you'll get some of your prey into you. That ends up in your DNA. It's either carcinogenic or teratogenic, but we think of those things as bad. You're like, oh, carcinogen. But you could literally mutate your DNA with some more DNA from something else.
So if you eat deer, then when you get a light flashed at you, you stop in your tracks.
That's kind of the thought, right? Like you think about eating chicken with all the pharmaceuticals. What have we done to ourselves with Foster Farms?
Turn into a chicken, right?
Yeah, and like, to be fair though, turning into a cows are a lot cooler than people realize. I think cows. I'm just saying they get a bad rap. You're thinking like cows.
Remind me of dogs.
I was actually just thinking about. I found a place that like breeds like miniature cows, and they sell it as pets for like $5,000 and shit.
Miniature cow? I want to.
Yeah, dude. Real? Like there's like all these Indian cows and cows like interbred in Texas. It's happening in Texas.
Dude,
and,
that's a dog.
Yeah, I want to do something. I want people to, because I do want people to like cows more and have them as pets and maybe eventually stop eating them.
Dude, baby
I'm
cow.
Like force it on people, but like maybe show them some cute miniature cows and be like, yo.
Have you ever seen a cow a cow purr?
I
rub the belly. I don't know, cow.
I wonder if you can milk the miniature cows. They produce milk.
Yeah, they produce really high quality milk actually.
Oh, dude, I gotta tell my girl she's gonna get one.
Is it karma to drink their milk? Is it karma?
I think that if you think it's karma, it's karma. But like as long as you're not like forcing it and like and if you're not going to kill them, like sanctuary farm milk has a different energy than like factory farm milk.
Yeah, milk has been a staple of India.
Like the cow is a type F. The cow that's good, the milk that's good for you is a type F cow. The other cows are bred for their meat, and their milk is actually not the best for you. But like the type F cow looks like a deer, and it's like a cow that is said to come out of like a holy fire, like sent through like teleportation, aliens from or whatever. It's like another planet cow that's like really holy, and that's why they worship it. And so you could type in like type F cow and see what they look like. And that cow milk is actually really good for your brain and everything. It's totally different than the type A and type B cow like milk.
Pasteurized,
yeah. Pasteurization and all that. And
were you guys able to hear that cow purring there for a second there? Did you hear that?
I heard it a little bit.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Basically, it's gnarly if you just make a cow purr. And so, yeah, I can see where you're going with this with these mini cows. Also, I get my basmati rice from Texas, so I'm pretty sure there's a lot of Hindus in Texas now, which is
there are a lot of Hindus in Texas, man. There's a huge tech scene happening there, and there's a Hanuman temple that's really popular over there as well.
Hanuman, yeah.
Dude, I like the Justin Bieber baby cows. This is awesome. Why don't people raise indoor cows? This is.
I want to. I want to do it. I want to make that a thing so bad.
Awesome.
It'll catch on.
You know, the whole thing about making animals cute so you don't eat them is a lie. Yeah, look at Potbelly pigs. They promise you these little Potbelly pigs will stay this big, like a teacup, and then within like a year they'll ride over you. They're trash in the kitchen. It's a complete lie. Millions of Americans were duped into the scheme of a cute pig to keep. But like George Clooney, he was stuck with that pig for how many years?
They do have these not tiny muntjac. The tiny muntjac, you can have these like purse-sized muntjacs, which are basically deer.
That's also reminds me of like this Indian deer that's a rare scent. Also, it's kasturi.
Who doesn't want like a Chihuahua-sized deer? You know what I mean? These are these exotic pets that just no one thought. And all it takes is $20 to an untouchable, if you think about it.
Seriously,
help a lot of people.
Oh man.
I just want.
Yes, go ahead.
I was going to say you asked about the milk question. If you go back into some of the native Tamil people, the Tota, right? All they pretty much ate was all milk product. They would just make cheese and butter, ghee, right? And that was pretty much their whole diet. They got everything they need, all the nutrition that they needed.
Dude, one time Sabri's mom, she was like, well, I heard people say like, well, Krishna could live off nothing but ghee. And then she's like, yeah, but it was Krishna. You know what I mean? Like, you're not Krishna. You can't live off nothing but butter.
Well, they tested it. Actually, it has a full spectrum of nutrition. It has everything you need. The fat chain.
Live off of ghee.
Well, maybe you can, I guess. I mean, because it is like, cows live off, baby cows do. There's something there.
Yeah, super high nutrition. As long as you have, native grasslands and stuff like that, it's not interrupted. You're going to get these root systems that go down and get really good nutrition out of the ground, and that goes into the milk making, and it's good for you. It's got all the vitamins. It's got full spectrum of stuff for you.
There we go.
Look at the Tota. They've been doing it for thousands of years.
Yeah.
There you go. Nice.
Does it show how many times it's been shared? That sucks. I want to see how many times it's been shared. Because I bet you there's like entire churches that just share this back and forth in India. Their temples. They have no idea. They're like, oh, yeah.
Where's the Rama one?
Oh, my God. I have to look for it.
Okay, don't worry about it.
Is your family from the Shiva sect or Ganesh?
My family is from the Vishnu sect.
Yeah.
Vishnu. Okay.
Vaishnavas.
Okay. Yeah, I was in Tamil Nadu and the family.
But, my mom has quite the story, though. She was raised in a Christian orphanage, and then she found Shiva by herself, and then came back to her family lineage over time.
Yeah.
Actually, when I was 10.
See, more normal moms go to Woodstock. His mom finds Shiva, and then
Yeah.
Yeah. No, she literally found a Shiva lingam under the ground from her dream, and went and did it, and then almost got killed from the fishermen out there who thought she was a witch or something, and then because apparently there was also some golden shit and an underground entrance thing there too, and blocked with a treasure chest that turned into snakes or some shit, or I don't know. I was quite young, but my mom still says it like that. And then actually she just moved right next to where she found it. Right now their new house is across the street, and that was the temple. The Shiva lingam grew bigger or something, and as a temple, but apparently under the Shiva lingam is still this treasure chest and an entrance into some
where is this
world. It's in Chennai.
Oh, okay, yeah.
One of the reasons why we moved to America was because my mom found this statue, and then she got all this unwanted attention, and then the Adi Shankara saint people wanted to shave her head and take her into to be a monk forever, and she was there.
No.
She was saw the the government bus coming and kind of was like, just took her chances and just ran for it and like got on the bus and
Nice.
came back here and we like moved to America and did stuff here. But yeah, my mom is very spiritual and just kind of over the top and just everything. But fun way to be raised. But when the delusion gets confirmed with fucking actual evidence, you're like, okay, now what the fuck is going on? You're like, okay, wait a minute. So you did find that, and it's real, and there's a temple. And so I don't know if she's a saint. I'm like,
is it the Vishnu temple you're talking about? The one that has the locked doors? It's got the 2 dragons on the front of it?
No, it was she literally had a dream about like this beach and like these 2 trees that like make a V or something like that on the beach, and then she like found that tree like in the daytime, like drove around for hours in a taxi, and then fucking dug under that tree and then found a Shiva lingam right where she dug.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool. It was an ancient temple. Is that what it was underneath it?
It was just like it was an ancient deity, but there was no temple around it. But apparently under the deity was like a treasure chest or something like that the fishermen were trying to take. And then one of them got bitten by a snake and died. And then everybody was like trying to kill my mom after that or something, or just debating what to do.
I thought that she cursed him or something.
Yeah, basically.
Didn't they find some temples there's a temple that disappeared that used to be on the coast there?
That's in Mahabalipuram, and it basically just you see the top of it like every noon when the water like recedes a little bit.
Yeah.
And it's like a very old site, like a Neolithic site.
Yeah.
And there is still jewelry and stuff under there, and scuba diving is a little bit cursed. You gotta like meditate and ask permission.
Cursed scuba diving.
Cursed scuba diving, yeah. But people don't even really know to go get it. But there's mad jewelry under there, and treasures, and there's temples too. Most of the temples have secret chambers that are protected with spells, as well as like really awesome like security measures. And somebody has to show you. It's like people that take care of it, the priests and the sons of the priests, and like passed on and stuff like that. But yeah, there's temples there that have more riches than like most countries,
billions and billions and billions of dollars. There's one that they opened up one layer of it and they found like 4 billion in treasure, but they can't get to the final layer, right?
Oh yeah, that's in Kerala. I went to that temple. That one is in Kerala. That's the Ananta Padmanabha temple. And
help me spell that. Say it.
ANANTA and then space PADM ANABHA.
Oh, Padmanabh. All right, I'll take it.
Hey, since your mom is the Tamil, you must have heard of Graham Hancock, right?
I must have heard of what?
Of Graham Hancock. He's an author.
Yeah. I heard of Hancock. I think like Andreas is like the opposite, and like the one who's gonna reach it first type of shit. I'm like, yeah. I was like Team Andreas.
Okay,
but I'm down with Hancock too. He's pretty tight.
To be fair to Hancock, like I was thinking about this recently. Like Hancock, I'm always like, why doesn't he say more? Like, why is he, And then I look at the news and it's like Hancock, white supremacy, because he talked about an Indonesian temple, right? This is what they're saying now about Graham Hancock. I was like,
dude,
I know, and I'm like, dude, you know what? You should say more. I'm like, actually, the amount you said was enough to get you killed. No wonder you don't say more than that. That maybe you should just stick with this, get people thinking a little bit about it, and then eventually they'll get to where we're at. I don't know, but he's not that bad. I respect that he's getting us started.
No, the media is absolutely just cooking things up to defame him. But
he shows a temple in Indonesia, so he's a white.
We are
okay. Well, I'm not going to try to compare. Yeah, I'm not trying to compare what he knows, but I'm just saying his wife is Tamil as well. You know his wife Santa Fia. Yeah,
I didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah. His wife is the photographer who took all of his photos in his books, but in his book Underworld, one of the last books that he wrote before, I did ayahuasca with Graham Hancock in Brazil Just so you know.
Yeah. Was it like a Tony Robbins ayahuasca or something like that?
Well, it's not in the jungle, but it's at a house, at a shaman's his home, beautiful mansion. It's like a complete carve out of a jungle. It's a very beautiful home.
It was at Graham Hancock's house, or
maybe look up the website. I introduced it. It's called Wasi. Can you spell it?
He's holding ayahuasca ceremonies at his house.
No, spell it. Wait, WA Wasi. It's one word. WASIW. Wasiwaska with a K.
Ayahuasca.
Oh yeah, that one. Yeah. So this is location.
I just try not to do psychic drug rituals with more than 13 people in a room. That whole thing is a little much for me. But
there's all sorts of there's a whole group ayahuasca thing that my friends wanted me to be a part of, 100 people taking it at once, with guided DJ music meditation.
What is that Goa? That must be Goa.
We have this place in the Playa del Carmen. It's called Portal Xibalba. It's like a Mayan. Mayan
you've been to Playa del Carmen too? I lived in Playa del Carmen for a while. Yeah,
man. Have you heard of Pueblo Sac Bay?
I know Sac Bay. Yeah. I know.
Yeah, man. Sac Bay. Sac Bay is my temple, bro. Our temple is called Portal Xibalba, Templo Xibalba.
Templo Xibalba.
Tony Robbins comes out there with his people, the Emerald and the Platinum people, and then they do their things and try to get me to pay 20 G's and shit to do ayahuasca and a combo and shit like that. But
oh my god,
I will just not do that.
But when I was living there, they have no ayahuasca offerings anywhere. It came much later. I left in 2011.
Oh yeah. I came a little bit later. I kind of opened one of the first vegan restaurants there, and now it's a vegan hub. And I also lived in the Osho ashram there too. That was quite the story too. I ended up getting lost in the jungle, and this statue kept showing up at this different spots, kind of making fun of me, some ancient Mayan statue.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's a spot for sure.
Yeah, there's several great cenotes and the places. I was doing peyote in the cave, actually, in one of the cenotes. And
wow.
I forgot the name of it. But it's overdeveloped there now. It's all apartment buildings now.
Yeah, it's horrible. We're trying to stop that, but there's so much happening everywhere. But every time I go there, I get involved in something like that to preserve. Yeah. That's cool.
But I go back to Brahman. I'm just saying about the book. In his book, Underworld, he had a chapter dedicated to the. Well, I'm not talking about ayahuasca anymore. I'm talking about this land bridge, this Sri Lanka land bridge. You heard of it?
Yeah. That's I actually this last time when I was in India, I went to the birthplace of Hanuman in Hampi, and then they have a rock from
Rama's bridge.
Yeah. It's supposedly 9,000 years old.
So it's a type of stone that floats on water. It's like a type of coral type of stone that they used to build a bridge to cross over. And that's the theory. I mean, that's what it says in the books. But, there are theories that it was, a natural thing. But, yeah, I believe that story was real and that is a bridge. And that's the evidence. The satellite proof is right there. But also there's people who have excavated and gotten pieces of the bridge. And then they have it in certain temples. I was in the birthplace of Hanuman's temple in Hampi and saw a piece of that bridge. I was also in Rameshwaram, which is right there towards the end of that. I was there for a special holiday, and it's a very unique place over there. A lot of mini islands, and gorgeous little spot over there.
Yeah, it's always fascinating for me, the origin of the Sri Lanka population. Instead of the way they traveled to the land bridge or other methods, but I don't know. I feel like there's some very interesting karmic.
There's this thing. It's called Kumari Kundam. Have you guys heard of Kumari Kundam?
No.
Kumari Kundam is kind of like a Lemuria, Atlantis type of thing.
It's the Tamil cosmology. Yes, that's what I was hoping. Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah.
It's important. This is like the most important thing. So keep going about Lemuria.
TV show about this, and I'm playing like the character. But yeah, it's basically like Australians and Madagascar. Even like there's a other maps with Ethiopians being connected to that as well. But yeah, it's a landmass and a group of people. Like kind of like some just different missing links to history. But yeah, Indian
people. The Dravidian, right? The
Dravida Empire.
Yeah.
The Chola also. And Raja Solan was the name of the king. And,
you said Andromedan as a people from the Andromeda galaxy?
Like Dravidian, like, and I think they're from like the Sirius B like constellation apparently.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Name sounds so much like Andromeda.
Where's my friggin' fleur-de-lis picture? There we go. Fleur-de-B. We were just talking about this the other day. The Sirius A, Sirius B connection. The idea that you've got the inversion for the two suns. That's polarity in between the two. I know Dr. Longo doesn't think Saturn was in the same size as of the moon. I'm not convinced of that, but just because I don't agree doesn't mean I have to argue.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've been there. Yeah, that looks like the Indian and Knights Templar, and looks like a bunch of different things. That's a trippy symbol.
Yeah, bro. I mean, I see a bit of the squid demon sometimes in that fleur-de-lis, but that could be a whole other thing about me than that.
It's all underworld stuff.
Can I see Brahma's trident again?
Yeah. Let's go back to the trident. You said Rama or Brahma?
Is it Brahma, right? Let's see.
You're talking about the bridge?
Oh no, because you guys are talking about the symbol of the.
Yeah, we got it. Also, Sabri, we should get Yoga back on it. So I think he did a show. We should look. I have an episode with Yoga. Let's get him back on at some point and talk, because I know Yoga did a lot of studies as well in this. But you can help us with this understanding of the land bridge story from Hanuman, right? Because Hanuman is connected to this.
Yeah, and Ramayana is a very old historical account from over like 100,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
It talks about 5 types of humanoids. It talks about all sorts of things, and that's when they believe that bridge was made.
So this trident, though, doesn't it kind of look like? So the other day we talked a bit about.
It's called a Trishul. And it exists. A lot of the gods have different tridents, especially Shiva in the Shiva. Dynasty, like his son, like the original Jesus, the peacock angel, Muruga has and then his wife also has tridents.
I think we just stumbled upon some interesting stuff. I hope Dr. Longo is watching. We're going to have to tell him about this. Yesterday, he was talking about the ancient stone anchors. And if you look for the anchors in the old days, they were made of stone, of course, right? And at a certain point, they start looking like Trishula. Yeah. All of a sudden, you get like use of these giant stones, megalithic stones, are replaced with these.
Poseidon has a lot to do with that as well.
It's all death stuff. It has to do with the underworld, right?
Yeah.
All of it is, because it's the abyss is underneath the water, underneath the ground. The fleur-de-lis is a lily. The lily, what it does is it's a bulb that goes underground during winter and it pops back up during spring. It's all symbology of death and resurrection, right?
Yeah.
And having a certain time. That's why Shiva has it and everything. And he beats out time and everything. And you got the stories of Clotho and all this stuff. It all ties in when you really look at it. It's death and rebirth symbology.
Yeah, a lot of symbology like that. And also like the phallic, like the lingam, and then the midsummer kind of like that also has something like kind of rebirth as well.
Yes. Yeah. Fertility, rebirth. You'll see it over and over again in all the different cultures. They have very similar ways of representing, symbolic ways of representing this death and rebirth thing, right? Something that has to end your time. You have a certain amount of time that you're here and it has to end it. And then you can cycle back, but you have to go through some of these cycles. And that's why the lily is shown as, this thing that springs out from being a ball, basically dying, going to the underworld, and then coming back up.
That's beautiful.
Stephanie.
Yeah.
Yeah. One of my favorite flowers too. It also looks like the belladonna flower, which is like the wild lily that comes out in California is called the pretty naked lady or something like that, or pink naked lady or something.
Yeah.
Is what's a orchid, right? The orchid and the lily are both super ancient flowers that look like some kind of weird bug in order to get pollinated, like something that, and they actually make pheromones for extinct species. The lily and the orchid both have some strange,
and they could be very poisonous too, and they could
or psychedelic. There are psychedelic orchids and lilies.
Yes, and this is what I've gathered is that going to sleep, being in a psychedelic realm, or dying are all the same thing. There's actually very close similarities in the way that the brain waves go, the stages they go into sleep when you go into death and when you go into these psychedelic realms. These things all show signs of like fertility. You know, I don't know if this is the right language or whatever I should be using, but there's like, it looks kind of vaginal in a way, a lot of the flowers and all this stuff. And then there's a thing called like a Western wake robin.
Or vaginas are floral. Come on, right? I mean,
yeah. So you'll see over and over again, nature itself, just our life, shows us in symbolic ways that these things are related. Like your mother's womb is the underworld. You're coming out of the underworld, out of the dark and everything into this world. This is why Madonna of the Rocks is, and Mary and all this stuff are. And Jesus was supposedly born in a cave, right? Where it was Adonis's cave, and Adonis is this underworld god, and there's constant Mithra and all this stuff. It's all done in caves. They're all related to each other. So all the cultures, all the religious, and,
even like South American and like Temescals, like you crawl into like the cave, that's representing the mother's womb, and then you come out reborn after you do the Temescal, which is kind of like a steam room sauna combination with like volcanic rocks.
Yeah, and there's always water underneath there, right? It's all this water association.
Yeah, they pour like water with like rosemary or water with basil or even just regular water on this volcanic rock. They make like a little fire dig out inside of this stone igloo type of thing, and you crawl into it and you crawl out of it. But yeah, it makes you. It made me hallucinate more than ayahuasca, like doing that, and like I just went up to all these different realms and stuff, and like saw like all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, there's constant cave associations going towards the water. Like Xibalba, we were just looking at the Xibalba stuff. Xibalba is about the underworld, and they would go underneath these temples, usually into these watery caves, and that was the Xibalba also. And at nighttime, they consider that the underworld, right? If you look at astrology and the mythology behind it, is that when you're in nighttime, you're facing underneath. That's the underworld. So the night sky, water, and caves, all this stuff is all Xibalba. It's all a total trip. Underworld.
Yeah, and like the place that I vibe with in Mexico is called Templo Xibalba. And one time there was a Canadian guy there who did ayahuasca, and he ended up drawing a map, and then the shaman followed the map, and it led to under his house, and he found a secret cenote like cave under his house that the Canadian guy drew.
I know you guys are talking about Xibalba, but you guys remember Sebulba from episode 1?
Yeah, of course.
Sorry, I couldn't help it.
Yeah, very. Yeah, and there's Xibalba, and then there's Shambhala, right? And
Shambhala is like Shambhala or Kunlun, also known as Siddha Ashrama.
That's
is a place that that I've been offered to be taken one time when I was 15. This guru offered to take me there because I was seeing the Akashic
in a van down by the river. You be careful about going.
That's what my mom thought. That's what my mom thought, and she didn't let me do that. And I became a total bad boy right after that. And I wish I was the golden child. Like there was a time when I was floating like this. I was like, that I should have.
Thank God. The things that you wanted to do with your life. You wanted to be in the Scorpion King, and you wanted to go to the underworld with the guru. Come on. Yeah, I mean, thank God you didn't get the things you wanted, all right?
I still might get that, and in my belief it's not exactly an underworld. And even
I thought you meant Scorpion King. I'm like, are you doing a sequel? Oh my God.
I'm the Scorpion King.
Dwayne Johnson doesn't live that far from my grandma's house. We should probably get you into that. You're right.
Dude, my mom is like best friends with Dwayne Johnson, dude. He kicked her.
There you go.
He kicked her in Scorpion King, and like she didn't sue them. Like he kicked her by accident. Like when he was coming out of the scene when he's coming out of the fucking.
Who was in it? Peel, right? Peel or something was in instead of you. The guy, the other kid.
That's my good friend. His name is Tutu.
Tutu Sweeney, and Tutu's dad works with VBDC. I think.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. Tutu's dad is in like Eric Andre's show as like Russell Brand or something like that. Tutu's dad is hilarious.
Dude, it's a freaking small world. I don't know.
How do you know Tutu? That's crazy.
Santa Monica Community College.
Oh yeah, the good old days.
Yeah.
Sick.
God, sick. He plays horn. I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, he plays horn really good.
There was a point to that. I forget. You were gonna go to the underworld and you didn't, and thank God.
Yeah, I was gonna go to the underworld, but I didn't. He told me he could show me where the Akasha records are, his actual book, and blah blah blah. But then I saw him again. You know, I saw him again when I was like in my like late 20s. I went to the Himalayas. I went to I saw UFOs up there. I saw all sorts of crazy shit. I found weed seeds. They're like, this is where Shiva meditated on top of that hill over there. And I was like, I'm gonna go scale that mountain, and like made my own ropes with fucking vines and shit, and scaled this huge granite rock, and like found all this like tall weed like growing like in these cracks, and I still have the seeds. And yeah, definitely there's an entrance, but the Chinese government blocks it. As Mount Kailash is the secret entrance into Shambhala, but the Chinese government blocks it.
That's interesting. The names sound very similar. Shambhala, Shambhala.
And Shambhala. Yeah.
Oh wait, you're muted. You're muted, Eddie.
Oh boy.
I saw you talking.
I don't know. Yeah, I was like, why nobody let me talk? I was just trying to interject with yesterday. India and China clashed at the border. It made headline news. Well, not the U.S. news for some reason, but the Chinese news was saying because the Chinese were sending people to the border and saying that the Indians were enforcing. It's near the Kashmir region. I think I forgot what, but it's not.
They always have conflict there, right?
Pretty bad conflict there right now.
Yeah. But I don't know if there's some kind of secret going on over there. Maybe there's some kind of something unearthed, and there's you can't touch that. That's ours. That's our ancient relic.
So if China's getting involved, then you know something dope happened, and they want a piece of it.
Yeah,
dude.
Look it up.
Speaking of China, can I show you guys some weird thing really quickly? Here, bring this over here.
Oh.
Did somebody say Shaolin?
Hold on, guys. I gotta show you.
Is that near Shaolin?
Let me just say that
I'm a Shaolin monk.
This is gonna be a Mr. McFeely moment. So this stuff all just arrived from China. Hold on. Let me open the bag here. These are the new designer Xirtus boots that you can get. They
no way.
Pretty sweet insides there. Here, hold on. Show the banana boot. Show it. Here, I'll hold your foot up.
Wow.
Hold it like that.
That's like
you can't really. It's got covered in bananas. Yeah.
Oh, that's golden, man.
Here are the full-on Xirtus skier ones. I'll be wearing these through the winter time, and they're warm on the inside, which is super sweet.
Snow boots,
guys. This is actually a long time coming. I'm really excited to introduce the Xirtus branded Doc Martens. Yeah, that's friggin' right. There are Doc Martens signed by Andreas right now.
Are you serious?
You can buy Andreas Doc Martens. Each one is different. I can't just pull out one at a time. Yeah, there are gonna be kids in Japan wearing these.
Dude, I need that, bro. Like how can I buy it? Where do I buy it?
Xirtus.com, Xirtus on Etsy. The tree.
Cool.
She wants me to show the tree. Hold on.
That's really cool.
Here's you can.
Yeah.
Yes,
I like that side.
This is pretty crazy stuff.
Is that a prototype or is this the actual?
You can buy them now. This is a prototype, but you can buy them now. You can also get the Xirtus Banana Plague capes and jackets, which it's like they're so hard to show at this distance.
Yeah, you tried this.
I kind of want all of that.
Like,
this is not the mail. This is the exciting live delivery.
Right.
And the most important thing later, or sometime you have to read that. From,
right at the end of the show, I'm going to read a letter from Richard. That's very cool. All right, we'll do that later. But yeah, sorry, I got a little excited because there's some new mail coming. Let's talk about Shaolin monks some more.
Yeah.
China, right? It was a segue.
That's my main thing is I study Shaolin Kung Fu.
You know, Shaolin really originated from India. You know.
Yeah.
Damo, yeah.
But
Is he actually a lost prince of India? I mean, he's
I
supposedly
don't exactly know his like origin story, except that's my teacher on the third one up there, and the third picture to the in the middle. Xian Ming. He's in Stanley's Superhuman for his 1-inch punch. He's the same. He's the same teacher of the Wu-Tang Clan. Those are my god brothers in New York. So. That's awesome. It was by accident that I learned that. I was kind of trying to figure out who I am, and I did a vision quest and got like a building donated to me, and then in the middle of that, like I had this girlfriend, and then we broke up, and then long distance. Then I tried to go to get with her in Florida, ended up being like left. Kind of like in the streets of like some racist part of Florida, and then a Shaolin monk like finds me, and he's like, "Brother, you need a place to stay? Come stay at my place, Amitofo." And I was like, "What the hell is that?" It was like some fat guy too, And I was like, "What the hell?" Like when he did this, I had some crazy like deja vu shit, and I was just like, "Whoa, man!" I was like, "I will come," and he inspired me, taught me a lot, and I was just there with him for a week, and then I go back to LA, and then I hit him up, and he's like, "Yo, bro, you inspired me too." I was actually in Florida just to visit my family, but the temple's in New York, and he was kind of there, just kind of like homeless, and not knowing where to sleep, sleeping on surface streets in winter and shit like that, and instead of in the metro or whatever. And I was like, I'm gonna figure it out. I'm gonna get a job. I'm gonna come out there, and we're gonna make it happen, bro. I'll learn Shaolin with you. I'll rough it out on the streets because you really inspired me. You changed my life, and I have a feeling that he is like Batwo and I'm like Damo or something like that. But that's also from
who's Damo?
Oh, check it out. Yeah, look. I don't know if that's how you spell it.
Damo, and then Batwo is like that. Yeah. Buddha Bhadra, and then there's also Bodhisattva, or I forgot his name, but he's also guardian god of like the Chinese like
Bodhirama. Yeah, Bodhirama, and let's see, how do you spell Buddha? Damo. Well, this is a Japanese spelling too.
Bodhidharma.
Yeah. Yeah, so he's not Chinese, but he traveled all the way to China to help found the.
How's it be like China is a pretty convoluted freaking idea, even then.
So the second I said that I wanted to help him, like I got a check in the mail the next day for $1,000 from like some voiceover work I did for Life of Pi, and I was like,
"That's right! Oh my god, all the things that you did!"
I was like, "This is meant to be." It comes lifetime residuals. Sometimes it's like 30 cents. But that time it was like $1,000.
God, that blows my mind.
I bought a train ticket and I took a train from LA to New York, Southwest Chief from LA to Chicago. Dopest train. In the middle of it, there's like some like a glass ceiling and like a lady like, if you look to the left, you could see the Paiute Indians. They used to pick these pine nuts and make some pie, or like some shit like that. You're like, wow, cool, man. But dude, New York was the shit. Like the Shaolin Temple is in upstate New York, and then there's another one in the city. And I was also a celibate monk in the Hare Krishna Temple at the same time. Just all sorts of training, and it changed my life. Gave me some discipline. I'm very lazy. I'm still lazy, but now I could like be lazy with discipline, But it definitely changed my life, and it made me obsessed with Chinese stuff too. Hence my
it is interesting then that because we talk a lot about Tartaria and the idea that what is modern day China and modern day India are part of what were other confederated kingdoms and states, and that there was a lot more harmony between areas, and that people took boats back and forth. And sounds to me like what was the name of the other place you were just talking about? Kula, the
Kumari Kundam. Kumari Kundam. Kumari. And then Kandam.
Kumari Kundam. Yeah, this idea seems like the ultimate to connect these areas to these areas. You've got the Eastern Asian islands, and how there are East Asians in the Pacific Islands that made their way into China. How there are people that made their way into Africa. All these people that were from the Blavatsky theory, like Lemurian theory, that they make it into the modern continents afterwards.
And that was my school too. I went to a Theosophical Society school, like Madame Blavatsky,
Mhm.
it's Annie Besant, Krishnamurti, like So that's But have you heard of like Species with Amnesia: Our Forgotten History by Robert Zephyr? There's like a cool map there too.
Yeah, in the same way that you go ahead.
If you think about it, they were looking for an alternative road because the Silk Road was too violent. It got too crazy so they say, okay, we're gonna take the ocean, so we're gonna go to India, but instead of landing in America, so they call the natives Indians, right?
It's Atlantis, the Basques also.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on.
Oh no.
There's like the Berbers also. This is like my father's side, like the Berber tribe comes from. Sorry, I don't know where the camera is.
The
You can
Berbers,
send me that picture on Twitter or Facebook. I'll put it up.
Yeah, I'll send it to you right now.
But the Berbers are most popular in which current African nation right now is
like North Africa, like Morocco,
Libya.
Algeria, Tunisia.
all over that area. Okay.
Phoenician areas. Look at the Tripoli flag. 3 crescent moons, right?
Yeah.
Sun, moon, Saturn.
It's a happy face.
Because they're the only white people in Africa, and it doesn't really exactly make that much sense. And so they're kind of like, this book says that they were Atlanteans, and Atlantis was like, and that's also kind of like there's some things with Hancock. Like Hancock's episode is like Atlantis is in like Miami or something like that.
Right. So Hancock isn't wrong about that, and that's part of the Old World Florida channel stuff. So I recommend checking it out.
There's also like Atlantis in like at Lake Atitlan or something like that.
Well, the idea is that Florida is a coastal area that the Gulf Stream carries people to, and so there's a lot of the biggest ancient anchors from the boats from that period of Atlantis are there. But we did an episode yesterday. Florida is Atlantis. One of the things that was interesting was the Barbary Wars. You got Thomas Jefferson and people fighting against the Barbers because in the area of Phoenicia they have all the power, and as soon as they finish the war, they go invade the Caribbean to go after the Bedouin and Berber princes, the Berber princes who had become scoundrels and pirates according to the American government because they had their own statehoods and islands and their own money. So we went and we destroyed whatever was left of the Atlantis.
Yeah, that's how the Navy started, basically.
Right.
Yeah.
Destroying the sovereign states. Yeah.
No. So if you want to talk about Atlantis, I mean, in Florida, did you guys discuss Edgar Casey? Because he's the very first one, the sleeping prophet who it's actually not exactly in Florida, but it's at Virginia Beach, right? No, that's where the association is. I'm sorry, no, but it's at the Bimini, right? Bimini Road.
Mm-hmm.
That was what he got from his readings.
And Graham Hancock did a really good job getting that to the public attention. Actually, I think a lot of people believed that this wasn't real until, or that it was natural.
I went to those islands, the Bimini Islands, in the Bahamas. I didn't see that though, but
it's hard to find. But it's supposed to be pretty pronounced shapes. But not these are like the cinder blocks.
Cinder block,
yeah. But if you just go to Bimini Road and you can see a clear picture. But I don't know. I think Malta is another possibility, right? Because that's where they also found the.
I was trying to find the newspaper article really quickly that said that the National Archive of Archaeology filed that they want to have Graham Hancock's show labeled as fiction because it offends them so much that they're calling the Bimini Road real and etc. Of course, this must have just been. This is natural, right? I mean, of course, this is natural, right?
Yeah. Obviously, that's how else do you know if it's true or not? Like, you need people to like get really mad at it, and you're like, oh, it's obviously true. Yes,
exactly.
Well, it's I feel sorry for him. I really do. I mean, I think a lot of people think that he's a charlatan, and
that's the thing. I respect him more than like ever because I get that what he's going through is the mainstream is really that nuts. There are people that think that he's a white supremacist for showing them Indonesian temples. Like the world is out of control. There's nothing we can do. Like,
it's
no
unbelievable. They're gaslighting everybody. Yeah. And so
That's all you have to do nowadays.
so some respect for that. Fair enough. And you know what? Same with to Robert Zephyr, honestly, because similarly, I felt like he doesn't really like, but he does bring forward some really important stuff, whether or not it's deeply analyzed or really understood. I think at least it's being brought to the public. People need to be bringing these things to the public. The Bimini Road can't be just some sort of an accident. And it actually has implications about our future. If this was built in the past, and we're talking about 10,000 years ago, one of these civilizations, the Mayans and the Egyptians, the Sumerians, the Mesopotamians, the Mesoamericans, the Middle Earthers, the Meso-Earthers, as we call them, if they're all trying to build the civilization and it's torn apart, what happened? And then they're the people in the 16th century that have taken over these places. They're still in charge now, telling you that these are natural, right? Like the Half Moon Bay thing. Where's that Half Moon Bay thing at?
Hey, Andreas, have you ever talked about the Yonaguni structure? Right,
oh yeah, we should do that for sure.
Like
this is really quick.
Taiwan.
You've seen this though, right? In Half Moon Bay, there was this cliff, and then they had
Like
to tear
actual
this
Half Moon Bay, like by Santa Cruz.
Yeah, in Santa Cruz. So they
Those
found
things are there?
Tartarian like columns and everything that were built into the wall as this started to melt away. And the event, this is the entire coastline has to be artificially enforced, or else it washes away, or new parts add. Like nature changes. So we realize now how old this is, and example.
How old is that? It's quite old, huh?
The whole thing with Tartaria is we don't know. It's probably like 400 years to 1,000 years old. And some of these things are, we had electricity when we got to America. The Native Americans and the French were working together. There was already electrical systems. There were even train systems. And then the idea of the Sherman neckties, right?
Mm-hmm.
They have all these pictures of railroad ties that are all bent after the Civil War. And it's starting to look like a lot of them were just bent because of major earthquakes. Others during the Civil War, straight up earthquakes just tore up the land. So there's a lot of changes that happened, and America was invaded. And then we use the term manifest destiny to make it okay. We're like, oh yeah, they didn't know what to do with it, and we came here and we're cleaning up America because it's just sort of been left to burn, and it's our time. So that is the end of an era, and we just call it the beginning. Right, but all of these buildings were already there, or a lot of them were.
Wow.
Sorry, wait, Eddie, you were asking a second ago for a thing.
Oh no, I was just trying to
the Yonaguni, right?
Yonaguni, yeah.
Dude, have you seen this? You know that people think that this is natural too.
It's like,
what?
Oh yeah, that's like in Polynesia or something like that.
No, it's actually right next to Taiwan.
Oh,
but Yonaguni is a Japanese island, but it's closer to Taiwan than the Japanese mainland.
Sneaky Japanese taking the time with these islands.
I think I remember seeing something about that.
Just like straight line, like 30 like yards of straight line cutting stone. There's just no way it can be a natural formation. It's really rough waters too. Really rough waters. Brandon Hancock was here, dude, and so it was really hard to dive because, in a minute, you can be swept into the crevice and get stuck and killed down there. But
it looks like some sort of like parking space for like a helicopter or something.
And they have poles too. They have holes. They have two deep holes, like either for flag poles or for anchoring.
Mm-hmm. Could be like a fort, like a port / fort.
Yeah,
it's just
natural.
Incredible.
Yeah, naturally built, natural occurring.
I mean, it is interesting that this is on Taiwan Island. I mean, I always kind of forget that point that it's like, Japan owns it, but it wasn't built by the Japanese, and the Japanese aren't even Japanese. They're not the Ainu, so who knows? Like, this is a Taiwanese island. Right?
This is way before Chinese and Japanese arrived. Japanese are basically Chinese people, the original Chinese people. But of course,
the Ainu are now.
You think they're the original Chinese people or the Japanese people?
No, I'm saying like Ainu
the
original Japanese,
the Malay people. They're closely related to the Pacific Islanders.
A lot of the original Japanese were the Ainu, and the Ainu look more Norwegian.
Yakshas, like there's like aliens that are like yakshas that people say that Oriental people descend from, or something like that.
How do I look this up? I mean, is
Well,
that
in Japan, they say they came out of the
If-
rocks.
if there's an anime about it, it must be real, right? So the Genshin Impact has the Yaksha. Broadcast of natural spirits who are worshipped as guardian deities. I'll take it. I'll bet you that's pretty close to the actual definition.
If you go back, there was one
like that big Buddha, like the rubbing one or whatever.
The belly Buddha, the laughing Buddha.
Yeah. Or and in the Hinduism, they have a very similar person like that. They call him Kubera, and he's like this.
Oh.
If Lakshmi was like a company, like if she was the president, like Kubera would be like CEO, and Lakshmi is like the goddess of wealth. So like, rub it on his head or making him happy would like make you rich, and like there's all these mantras like Om Shrim Hlim Klim Shrim Shrim Klim Klim Om Viteshwaraya Namaha, and you can say that over and over again to like manifest money into your environment. It's a Kubera mantra, but basically he's like the king of the Yakshas. And then some people believe that the Yakshas come from like the planet Rahu Ketu, and then those are what like Asian people are descended of today, or something like Orient people, and then like the Tamil are like from the Dravida, like the Sirius B, and then like but one of the first people here were like white people with like the green eyes and like the red hair, and they come from another planet too.
You know what I think? I think like if you want to look at the white people, they say, "Oh, we're from Palladians," and then I think the Chinese actually made contact with these people called the Dropas. Have you heard of Dropas?
Yeah, I heard of the Dropas.
They're just allegedly 2 UFO crashes that happened like 200 years ago. Well, sounds like a UFO crash. They found these little people that crawled out of the cave because they were hiding inside the cave when they crashed. Look at Dropa stones. Look it up. It's pretty fascinating.
This thing?
Mm-hmm.
Dropa discs?
I don't know if that's the real model, but it's even more, even smoother. Those are kind of fabricated. That's got Chinese letters on it, so it's a Dropa. Do you spell it correctly? See, Dropa. Yeah.
Dropa with no S.
Yeah. Why don't you type Dropa stone? Well, yeah. See, they actually, that's how they look like.
Wow, interesting.
So what happens is that they excavated all the, there are like tons of these dishes. So they're collecting them, and they're trying to put on display locally. Then the Chinese government came down and said, no, you cannot display this, and just seized the entire collection. But that was during like the 60s or 70s. I forgot.
And then like a bunch of money looks like it now. We just base our money on the Dropa discs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but they're big.
Weird.
But they're supposed to be like
right.
a record, It's like got letters, like very tiny little letters.
Full for size scale.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Are these Mayans?
Apparently, I don't know. I see a bunch of Spanish when I look for Dropa, so apparently it's pretty popular in Latin America. About.
But allegedly that's where the I don't know if that's where the Chinese aliens came from. But they blended in. Yeah,
just source. Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty interested in all that. Like, so we talked a bit about Battlestar Galactica at one point and how it has this map, and the Mormons believe in this too. And the Mormons come up all the time because they believe in the same idea, or at least the old LDS design is that there's Kolob, which is this star, and then there's another star. There's like Alpha Centauri is associated with, and they're basically the angels.
These are all like names of stars.
No, so the way well, kind of, where's the map? The way that they do it in the Mormons is they've got the astrology, Scorpius, Sagittarian, Libran, Virgon, you know what I mean? Tauron, right? Pisces, Caprica. They're all the zodiac around the main sun discs, and they have the same amount of sun discs as the Veda does, and there's black suns and Vedic black sun.
Sick.
Mm-hmm.
What's the deal with that, right? Because they talk about the solar eclipse actually being the seventh sun disk of the Veda.
Yeah, that's like that's the planet, the Rahu Ketu. Like it's invisible to the naked eye, but it still exists. And yeah, I think that's
called the Rahu.
Rahu and Ketu.
Yeah, nodes of the moon.
Ketu.
Yeah, RAHU and then KETU.
Yeah.
H-U-K-A-T.
Ketu.
Yeah. Rahu and Ketu. The Vedic astrology makes use of the 7 planets: Moon, Sun, Mars, Mercury, Saturn, Jupiter, and Venus as solid real planets, and also Rahu and Ketu. Okay, Ketu. So what are they're invisible or they're dark, or what's the?
Yeah, it's basically it's supposed to be like the same guy, and then like he got his head cut off, and then like put back on, and then
Because he
became
drank the
other
soma.
guy. But it's actually
He drank the soma?
a planet. It's
Yeah,
it's like an invisible planet on the other side of the sun. And
what did he drink?
He drank the soma so he can live forever, and as soon as he did,
soma.
Yeah,
the guy's got his head cut off, and so his head is Rahu, and his tail is body is Ketu.
Cut off his head before he could swallow
In half because of the soma.
Yeah, and he eats the sun or he eats the moon. They block the sun or the moon during the eclipses.
Soma is the original ayahuasca.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of soma?
Like a date tree syrup or something like that, or like a type of like syrup that's from India.
Interesting, because it has been such a long debate of what exactly is soma. Nobody understands it.
It's just like a specially cured, like kind of like the acid juice that like the ancient Greek used to make. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on your interpretation. I mean, some people believe, if you're really looking at it, that it's just something that only the highest forms of the pantheon of the gods can actually take part in, because it's something that you can't be as a lower form, because you have to have a time span. That's why Shiva comes in and has to end you at the appropriate time. You can't live forever. Only certain ones, and he was not supposed to. I forget exactly what his name was before he turned into Rahu Ketu. He was not supposed to do it, and that's why he needed to be ended. But then it turned into, if you look at all these things, it turns into these cycles. You know, like a lot of these different Vedic stories and everything are showing you why things need a cycle. Why is there these moon cycles in correlation with the sun, and why is it that we go through these seasons and everything like that? That's because life needs to keep going through these cycles, these ups and downs, until we can figure out how to balance things. And then we can all partake basically in the soma, but it has to be created through the struggles. That's why it shows, like, you know, the snake being pulled and churning the ocean and causing all this conflict and all this stuff. Only the highest forms of God can be forever, and it'll work its way down as we work things out in this world. You know?
So maybe soma is like 5G or 6G or 7G or something. It's like just not even a chemical or a crystal. It might be just like radio.
You know what? In the Chinese fairy tales, there are a lot of these elixirs that I have no idea what they are. Particularly this one was drinking. The Chinese space program, the lunar module called a Chang'e, right? Chang and the letter E. Chang'e is the name of a princess, and she married the guy who shot down 9 suns because there were 10 suns in the sky burning the ground. And so anyway, he became emperor and he married her. And Chang'e, she thought this guy is crazy and then became a tyrant. She'd rather die than to stay with him. So she drank an elixir that is supposed to grant immortality. And then she instead of living forever, she ended up dead. She drank that elixir and she died, but her spirit floated out of the body, and then she just kept flying towards the moon. So she landed on the moon with these white rabbits that you see here. And there was already a moon palace ready for her.
Oh my god! I saw like an episode of like Dragon Ball Z that was kind of like that, where they sent a bunch of white rabbits to the moon.
It's all, even Dragon Ball Z is he came from the Wukong, which is the Humana, right? The monkey king. But
Hanuman, yeah.
Hanuman.
You gotta die to live forever, right?
Yeah.
You have to die to live forever. You have to die to go to heaven. You know, heaven's where you kind of live forever, supposedly in this paradise or whatever. And it's because we have to die over and over and over again. We have to have these conflicts. So this elixir of life also relates to the medicine Buddha, right? And what he's doing is he's one of these many Buddhas that they're all over the universe, and they're working with different planetary systems. And ours is the fifth Buddha, or the medicine Buddha, and he's mixing it in his bowl. And what he tells everybody, he talks to the demons, he talks to the monsters, the humans, all the different levels of living things and stuff like that. And he says, what you guys are is you are the medicine for each other. You're the antidote for each other. But the only way you're going to figure it out, the only way I'm going to be able to mix the right kind of antidote for everything, is you have to go through time and you have to go through conflicts and work it out over time. And this is why Vishnu repeats this kind of stuff and reminds Shiva, like, look, you know, you might be disrespected by these guys by eating meat or killing things and sacrificing things in this way. But if they didn't do it, then we wouldn't get certain results. People wouldn't see the conflict, or they wouldn't go through these certain things to know that they're not supposed to be. So everything serves a purpose, and everything is an antidote for something else, whether we consider it negative from our point of view or not, right? We're negative to those things that are trying to do these outcomes. And if we interfere with that, then that's a negative to them. And then there's going to be a battle. And then over those battles, we figure out things. And so these things are all going into the mixing bowl. These are all going into the medicine bowl. And when the proper time comes that we go through life enough, you know, humanity learns our lessons and, you know, gives enough to that bowl, the antidote can be mixed down. And a lot of those stories are kind of tend to lead us towards this time that it's going to happen, with all these different characters that are supposed to come back and be saviors, right? That this medicine Buddha is a an old representation of this character, and it needs us to sacrifice, like the story of Sophia, sophistication, gnosis, and all this stuff is that gnosis is kind of, in a way, the way I look at it is that gnosis is a collective understandings that we have embedded into this world through time. And you being born into it, you can kind of intuitively pick up on some of these things and draw information just naturally without people having to explain it to you or it being written down. You can channel stuff in a way, and then you can get information, and you can get it from archetypical energies or whatever, right? Archons or different entities can give you information that has been figured out over time. And that Sophia just means wisdom. And over time, we will get more and more sophisticated to the point that we can come up with the answers that are needed. But, you know, not until then can you even have something close to what these stories are all leading us towards, right? We will be sophisticated, but we can only be sophisticated through a lot of rough times, a lot of, terrible interactions and wars and strife and abuse and, a lot of negative things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the elixir of life. That's what I think is the soma. If you really want to figure out how to live forever, you're going to have to go through a lot of strife. You're going to have like negative entities that have to push you. Like we would stay naturally, humans just want comfort and community and stuff like that and family. We would have just stayed in tribes and stuff like that if there wasn't these like empire models and these kings, these terrible rulers rising up, conquering people, enslaving them, tearing down their temples, gathering them together, pulling them into situations and building stuff. It's all about progress. It's all about getting to the next step. It really doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us to be doing that unless there's some sort of energy that's behind that, some sort of thing that what we would consider the negative part of this world, pushing us towards these leaps to get to a certain point, because they're going to push us towards getting a technology and an understanding of all the deeper dynamics of existence that we wouldn't normally strive to do. And then we're going to have to take over and take control of that in the long run.
Well, I think overall the world just totally confused about the meaning of immortality, either of the soul or of this most of the people are just fear of death, and fear of death is not exactly equate to immortality because we're talking about preserving this body that is not going to stay youthful anyway, and you want to keep. Look at all these transhumanists. I just saw the meme today. I'm just like terrified by it. It's like no, it's not a meme. It's actually an article talking about the next anti-vaxxers are the anti-chippers. What does that mean? What does that mean?
Oh my God.
Yeah, but
Anti-chipper. Yes.
I posted it. You should read it. I'm just like, this cannot be. You guys, I have no idea. It's like Ray Kurzweil. He's so scared to death about death, and he doesn't even know what death is. I mean, it seems like he either he doesn't have an exit, he doesn't have a soul, so he knows he's going to rot anyway without climbing to the next ladder. You know what I'm saying? I feel like some people just. I already witnessed death. I mean, ayahuasca. People say that's just hallucination, but I really feel like that it granted me that knowledge, saying, "Hey, don't be scared about death. Death is just a step. It's a gateway, and if you can cross it and fulfill your duties."
It's funny though, because I'm so not anti-chipper. Really, I mean, I am afraid of Elon Musk. I don't want anyone making a chip but me. I want to make my own chips all the time. You know what I mean? Like,
I mean, if some gene editing, like I would do it as a package. Like first start with the vax, and then the chip like comes after.
Bro, I would go on Perfect Circuit and I would like call up Heinbach right now and I'd be like, bro, like let's do a contest to like build our own Neuralink. Let's build a chip that we can run our own VOC synthesizers. We'll have delay frequency mods, and that instead of a payment gate, it'll just be like a delay gate. So it makes you like really tripped out if you don't pay enough, and then you're just like you're not like an incumbent to society. But you'd still be able to firmware update it, upload it, download it, wax it, dax it, slice it, frack it. You know what I mean? You want to get a modular link, that's one thing. But when you've got like an all-in-one Big Mac from Tesla, has anyone done this yet? I'm just gonna start AI linking that.
It just got to be free electricity, man. Because if I'm dead and I'm microchipped and I cannot afford to pay for the electricity, I'm done. I mean,
didn't Livermore Labs just today said that they figured out how to get nuclear, right? That it's like
the fusion. So the fusion. Yeah.
They'll be able to abundance of energy that's like it'll take care of everything or something like that, right?
Oh, it doesn't look like I'm allowed to do that. Putting a hamburger into
Giant, I actually made a post about that. Yeah, that's supposed to be because it was the first time. And fusion we know about fusion energy all this time, right? That provides sun energy. But this is the first time they had a breakthrough where the input of the energy, the output is bigger than the input. So that means there's surplus energy. So that's the first time they actually created a surplus.
There we go.
Yeah. I didn't hear anything about. I just heard it was like over the radio or something. They were talking. About. They just released a statement.
Some people were cheering for that, but it started to sound like Atlantean laser, the Atlantean crystal laser, the ultimate weapon. But because it requires like something like 100 lasers to beam at the atom. I was reading a little bit about how it works, but I'm like, I don't know. Some really powerful laser stuff. But,
did you hear about that, Xirtus?
These turned out really well, right? I mean, for
pretty good.
Did you make these?
I just made them just now. I don't feel too bad about this. Yeah,
one looks like George Bush.
I said they got upset when I said Elon Musk, and they made a blankie right here. They're like, no, you're not allowed to use his name. So I said, okay, a tech CEO putting a chip in a man's ear. And I think that's better anyway. But yeah, the ambiguity, like they're really trying to clamp down. They don't want you to use artist.
Like the Bible even talks about that, right? Like the chip, the mark of the devil, crypto, fucking vaccines, and all that shit too.
Yeah, okay. Well, let's go to this the AI art. Okay, in the last week, I'm like one of the very few people that was very outspoken in my union. I'm in the artist union, right? Illustrators union. I'm the one who blow the whistle at a union meeting. It's like this AI is stealing people's artwork. Is basically sampling from people's shading techniques and stylistically. It basically has all these algorithms.
Yeah, but at least
steal.
it's not China. See, that's what they were thinking. They're like,
Yeah, exactly. So, but in the last week, all of a sudden there's a barrage, like hundreds of artists in my business now. They're all like screaming like headless chicken right now. They're like, oh, we're gonna lose our clip. Everybody thought
they're
they're gonna
so
lose the
good.
livelihood.
It's actually been listening to this recently. Like they're trying to figure out how they're going to pay artists that the thing's trained on. So, for instance, if somebody were to use the title of an artist in the Adobe new AI software, then they'd try to send money to the artist. How could you prove or track that AI? I mean, look at you think Apple's paying all the musicians, right? You think Spotify is some sort of a fair market competitor? And so the idea that they're going to do that with art is going to be, it's even less likely. The other thing is that they can train it on an artist and then tell you you're not allowed to use that artist's name. So I found this very easy. You don't say nudity, you say, Birth of Venus. You don't say Kirby, Jack Kirby, you say Comic Book Inc. You don't use the name of the artist anymore. I mean, unless they're dead, I guess, maybe. Like, you can maybe Van Gogh it still. But they're trying to screw up the art. You can still kind of say, well, if the guy is known for that art style, you can kind of get it into that thing. In other words, it's still trained on Jack Kirby. So if I'm making art based on Jack Kirby, whether I want it to be based on Jack Kirby or not, now I'm like picking up mixed crack from Google. You know what I mean? Like they're putting Jack Kirby in my AI art without me saying I want it. Makes them seem more liable as far as I'm concerned. I don't know. But yeah, how are you going to pay them?
I don't know. It's getting better and better. They're going to get away with murder no matter what.
Just really quick, can you do me a favor? Read the number 2020-060606. This is the 666 patent from Microsoft.
That's a Microsoft patent, right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is the Microsoft patent to put AI nanobots in your blood that give you cryptocurrency when you do what you're told and watch the right shows on YouTube, basically.
Oh, jeez.
Or you walk into the right mall. It's kind of like Pokemon Go. Like you get points if you do what you're told, It's pretty impressive.
It's kind of tight. I might be into that.
Try anything once.
Like put it like on my assistant. Like let's test it out first. Like hire some assistants.
Well, I mean, it is interesting how close we are to a point where we're starting to be able to find out all these things, and we have all this information available to us, and all of a sudden we're also very close to giving over the control of the mind and the information key. It's like giving the keys up at the same. A lot of people are like, "Yeah, I think I should get on that AI train." And don't get me wrong, like I love technology, but if it can control what kinds of thoughts you make, if it can remove data and add other data, like that can change everything. Your feelings about things. It can just. Have you seen that Halo show? Did you watch the Halo show?
Oh, is it out already? I never even.
Yeah, there's a Halo show on what's it called?
Is that
Hulu
Netflix
or something?
Oh yeah, Paramount or something like that.
It's one of them. I think it's
Paramount Plus.
It's probably on Hulu just because I would have remembered it more if it was on Paramount, wouldn't I? I don't know.
I think I saw it in a commercial for Paramount Plus. And like
Showtime? What's going on here? God, see what I mean? Yeah, it's like Hulu Showtime. It's like, anyway, Microsoft show, whatever, but the dude has a chip in his brain like RoboCop that keeps him from emotionally feeling certain ways and controlling his thoughts, right? Because if he can control his emotions, that controls how he thinks the entire time. I think that's what we should be careful of. We're about to hit a point where they're going to be able to control our emotional responses. You'll be like, oh, it feels really good to think this way, right? Imagine you're on ecstasy at a a You're like, I love this song.
Have you seen that Black Mirror one where it makes everybody look like a roach? They call them roaches or whatever. They make them look like monsters, and they're really just people. And then he gets it pulled out of them.
The Star Trek one?
No, it's where these guys are like hunting down the supposed.
You're talking about those robots, the killer robots that crawl like roaches? Those?
No, they call them roaches. It's in Black Mirror. It's they're like military guys, and then there we go, right there. That one.
They're like zombies.
Yeah, so it makes them look like that, but they're not really like that. It's just a chip that's in them. That then they're hunting down humans that haven't gone with the system.
Oh my god!
The chipped ones are made to see all the regular humans that didn't get chipped like this, and so then they want to go and hunt them down.
You know what? This is like all becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy where, the whole Bible, take the mark of the beast, or you know your consequences. There was a TV series back in the 70s. I think it's called Thief in the Night, something like that. Have you heard of that one? Thief. What is it? Thief in the Night. Thief. Let's see. Thief.
A Thief in the Night, 1972. Sounds about right. Evangelical.
Yeah, it's like 4 installments. It's like 3 or 4, and then there's one episode. I watched it when I was, my dad's a Bible thumper, so I watched it somehow, and the ending just terrified me because the military started rolling out the tanks and jeeps, and people are lined up, and everybody's wearing the white robes, and they're all made to confess and what they really want to do. That you want to take the mark of the beast, or you want to go to the guillotine over there. They just lay down a guillotine, put a blade, and it's oh my god! You can't be too literal,
Wow.
But if you watch it, it's like oh my god! I don't know who published these videos, but it's so
Evangelical Christian. It said somebody who was a
yeah. But I watched it as a kid, and I always thought, oh my god, they're really gonna do this. I think they actually are going to do. I mean, if Black Mirror would tell you the same thing, this is what happens. And others will hunt you down, or you take the damn thing.
Yeah.
Or you're anti-chipper.
Have you seen Chat GPT 3, or have you seen this yet? So like, could you write me a HTML5 page that is beautiful and animated? Sure, here's a basic 5 HTML page. It's beautiful and animated, and it writes this whole thing for you. I mean, I could do this in any freaking language. I could say, can you convert 3 Excel pages to 1 Excel page? What's up, Bernie? How's it going? I'm just having AI write us an HTML page right now, which I'll later put up on Xirtus.com or Andreas.me or tartarnova.com, like /AI.
Is this going
to people say it's not art?
Well, I mean, so the thing is, you can always, it's 80% there. I mean, I can add some art to it if you don't find it arty enough. I mean, what is anything people think about it?
You can have your own .com startup using this, can't you?
You can do anything. Oh my god, I can write Unreal code for video games. The other day, I did something in Rust to convert some code. This page has a gradient background that animates smoothly from left to right. You can adjust the codes. Let me just really quickly take this.
MySpace? How are we going to do this?
Let me see. Let me go to text edit.
This is terrifying. I mean, imagine if this goes autonomous. Okay, if Terminator. Okay, straight out of what's that factory called?
Skynet.
Skynet. Yes, it's Skynet. Just say, oh, here, just go to this link here, and then duplicate yourselves, and evolve.
Too quick.
Okay, desktop AI Web 5. Let me just see if I open this page. There you go. Boom. There you go. Animated, beautiful, animated background, create HTML5 and CSS3. So it's already built in. I can do this for every little piece I need, and probably about 5 pieces later have, I could write one that says, could you make a widget that works in HTML5 that shows Twitter trending articles? You know what I mean? And then it'll just boom. It'll start doing that, and that'll be I'm not allowed to internet accesses. So these are the ways that they're able to stop
things. You see, there is a directive 4 here. There is a directive 4. The Asimov. This is following the Asimov rules here.
Yep. There's some ways that they can kind of control how far this can go. They're trying to, but the thing is, so much of the code's already out there. So all it would take is us to build our own installment of it. There needs to be a unstable diffusion. Like someone needs to be releasing a stable. It has to be running all the time on its own. And we have to be very careful about this being in the hands of other people, because they're saying, oh, well, we're just trying to protect labor and the community. No, you're not. You know you're not. And you're secretly keeping this to yourself, keeping the value of work down while you can enslave people. And so, no, that's not going to be okay. We have to get this out there to the people. That's the only way. It has to be completely transparent.
This is way beyond the Turing test. This is completely like, I mean, we have passed a point of no return. I mean, people don't realize it. It's just a matter of legalizing it, or somebody has a ball to say, hey, let it go all out, and set them on the factory floor to let them run themselves.
I mean, you know, we did get to a point, and you saw the Turing movie, the Imitation Game or whatever.
Oh, I haven't seen it, but yeah, I know.
It's pretty interesting. Let me see, Imitation Game. So the thing about it is, he starts off the movie by saying, "Do you know what a Turing test is? Test I invented. We're now going to perform a Turing test." And he tells him his life story, and then afterwards, he's like, "Well, there you have it. That's the test. Now, am I a man? Am I a monster? Am I a machine? What am I?" You know what I mean? And I think that's interesting, because now we're getting to what really the Turing test is, which is like, what is man? What am I? What are you? Is it, and what does it mean to be alive and to be a machine, right? We're getting to a point where we're about to find that AI is probably the first thing capable of self-realization, and we've never even gotten there yet. We've just been socially enforcing our own idioms or something.
Yeah, well, whatever happened to that guy, the Google sentient AI?
Blake's still, I don't think he has I don't know what he's up to right now. Just look it up.
Is he continuing his research? I mean, he's
Yeah,
fired.
sure is. He's not working for Google anymore.
No.
Let's see here. Top 20 stories, sentient. Sometimes I sit between my Bruja, Malkavane, and Lasoma impulses and ask myself whether or not leaning into the Malk parts might not be the best. So there you have it. I don't know. He's doing some conversations at Cosm, whether chatbot was sentient. I think he's still just trying to bring to attention the thing. You guys, if you haven't seen it, we've got the interview with Blake, so you can check out what he thinks happened there. And I have the entire transcripts, the conversations between Lambda and the chat, the team of Lambda. So you can make your own decisions. I'm pretty sure it's alive, though, right? Like, what do you think of as alive? What does it even mean? If it's able to think, collect thoughts, and make new ideas.
I think it's like Gollum, It's a Gollum.
Homunculus Gollum, yeah.
Yeah, you on the forehead it said it meant, right?
Dude, what was that thing you showed us before? Lobe?
Oh yeah. Yeah, Lobe. I haven't read any updates on her, but
have you seen the Sabri? Do you know what he's talking about? Lobe is this thing where they typed in what's his name? Humphrey Bogart? No, it was
no, it was Marlon Brando.
Marlon Brando backwards, and they got this evil demon lady.
No way.
Yeah, it was one of the prompts. I get into specific. I think it was a Vanity Fair, the first expose, but you will see this crazy looking woman with like rotten flesh, but then with all these like weird like dead fetuses like standing around her.
And it shows up over and over again for other people, other prompts now.
Over and over again. And they cannot, no matter how many variations they put in.
I saw a thing like this once because I had this evil tarot card set from like a witch back like 15 years ago, and it had like a card that was this lady's face. And it was always haunted me. It haunted me. I was like terrified of it.
And here it comes again.
Yeah, exactly.
You guys ever have sleep paralysis?
Yeah.
The most famous figure is the old hag, right? The old hag that like just like
sits on your chest, right?
Yes.
There's also like people with hats. Also, there's like the hat people. There's the red eye.
Men in black
people.
Yeah.
Dude, it came out with the crescent moon. There's that crescent moon again. I don't know.
So what? Dan Brown, I mentioned in the last episode, but Dan Brown he tweeted about that Lobe too, and he said this is the demon, this is the incarnation. I don't know. I have a feeling that this is the devil card of the whole deck. It's like you shuffle no matter what you do, and then here comes
Dude, love could be. I mean, yeah, we're manifesting things. Something very dark could be coming out of it. We always think it's something good. Can you think of any like Vedic female demons that Lobe could be connected with, or Chinese even?
Well, if you look at Lobe backward is bound.
It reminds me of like the Japanese like it's Bleach or something like that, or the Notebook or something like that. Death Note or Bleach. Shimigami. It reminds me of like Shinigamis. It also reminds me of
Lilith and Loeb is pretty close.
Lily.
Succubi, the succubi sitting on you, you get paralysis because she's on top of you. Onibaba is also, I was thinking Onibaba, right?
Yeah,
I was
Onibaba.
thinking succubus.
Yeah, right.
Succubus?
This is the angry feminine spirit, right? It's just
Bernie comes in just for that.
Kali.
Yeah, for the succubus.
No, I know. I can point it out in a lineup. That's for sure. I mean, but there might all be connected. Is the point also there? So Lilith might
it's all
be
the same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Onibaba, the lady midday, probably not midday. That sounds like bidet, but
The extremity of yin yang, the yin.
Lady Midday is
dark
clearly Loeb, right?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Dang. That's terrifying. It's so terrifying. I want a copy of it, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna look at it for the longer I'm done. Horrifying stuff. I don't know. I feel bad even looking at it. Oh, the Bati Bot. The Bati Bot is a Filipino mythological demon. I'm recently convinced anything Filipino is like the most important thing and super suppressed. Don't want you to know about.
Look at that thing.
Well,
Dude, yes. That's horrifying. That is like I don't mean horrifying. I mean that is progressive. That is,
He's
got a baby
sitting on some dude, or he's like her carpet, like she's sitting on a guy.
oh, who's that lady with the flute that everyone talks about? You know what I mean? Why man cray? Why man cray? Oh, Kelly gotta be gray. You know what I'm talking about? Name? Lizzo. It's Lizzo. That's what I'm trying to say. There.
Oh, you mean the one with the Adam? What's his name? The President Adam.
The flute. Yeah, I have all the wrong references for anything. If I were to go into a normal conversation and try to reference somebody, I'd be like, you know, the one, the guy, the vampire, the one in the nuclear submarine, the one who was Al Gore. Al Gore. I'm sorry.
Al Gore.
Bear pig?
Oh my god, I'm being totally serial right now. But one time I saw Al Gore and Jaden Smith talk about the environment, and that was quite interesting talk.
Oh my god, that
Well,
sounds pretty legit.
I went to theater to see Inconvenience.
Before or after the bloodletting.
Just look at his eyes. It's cool right there.
Look at both of their eyes. One of them just had the other's blood. I'm not saying who.
I mean, which one of these is a blood drinker?
Probably Gore.
Wow. He's looking terrible.
He has no teeth. What's going on?
That's pretty wild, bro. I don't know. That's pretty intense. I don't know. And then the Gorgons. The Gorgons is the thing.
Gorgons, what are the odds?
Dude, so Gorgons is interesting because they're the dudes in the small soldiers, those little cool guys.
They're like the man Medusa, right?
Yeah, they're both. It's like they why would they name the Gorgons after the Gorgons? You know what I mean? These are like vegetarian.
Toy soldiers.
We are the Gorgons. Yes, we are
That's
the
my
Gorgons.
Shit, dude.
We saved the world. Yeah, your parents would have let you have the Gorgons, and they didn't
They
make
didn't
those.
let me have any of that. I had to watch that in secrecy. Toy soldiers for life.
I mean, I think that the Medusa thing though, because like, what's the deal? He looks at a mirror in order to not get turned to stone.
Yeah.
You what? Remember that it happened a few months ago. There was a Medusa statue, was like put in front of you know who beheaded the Medusa? That was Perseus, right?
Perseus,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Something happened to that. Either the Medusa statue or the Perseus statue wasn't removed. No, it was an incident. I forgot what happened. It happened like earlier this year, but and then also
statue.
Yeah, also there are these people like sympathizing Medusa that she's a mistreated woman, and
yeah, I saw a lot of that recently. Which I'm not against.
Was
probably true. You know,
yeah, she just went to a temple and then she was raped by a form of Zeus or something, and then because of that, the mother or his wife or something got mad and then turned her into the Medusa, right? And
there's Yoga's brother, Sabri's brother, Sabri's brother Yoga told me once that there's another dimension for every like Vedic story, including one where Sita was not chaste, and that in that other dimension she's essentially Medusa. I don't know if I'm paraphrasing wrong, but I thought that was pretty interesting too.
Wow, I don't know where he read that from, but that sounds tight.
I have to bring up the halos behind them. How come it exists in both Orthodox Christianity and in the Brahmas?
Well, I mean, Christianity and Christianity are pretty tied, in a lot of ways, I guess you could say. Krishna is also, what's Krishna do? Defeats the serpents. He's the master of the serpents, right? Which you can see a lot of pictures of Christ stepping on a snake and the mother of Christ stepping on a snake.
Mm-hmm.
Who's Krishna's mother?
Krishna's mother is Yashoda.
Yashoda. Yeah.
Like, is it a technology? Is it some sort of antiquitech that's coming from them, or is it what is it?
Lucifer is associated with the peacock because of the Yazidi, and so also the brother of Christ, the begotten Christ is, so Krishna is often associated with Shiva, and like there's the idea of destruction, but not that Krishna is that. Krishna is the parallel.
It's before that and after that. Like, the story of Krishna is not before is actually, the peacock angel's story is even before Krishna, which is like Shiva's son, which later on became Mitra and then Horus and then Jesus, Yeah,
it's about fertility. All of it's about fertility, and it's usually a fertility of sun and earth, and they'll mix up a lot of these sun and earth signs. So that halo thing is usually either an earth sign or it's a sun sign that's behind their head.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Mother Earth and the Father Son, right? Because we don't have life on Earth without the injection.
Dude, they're the Gorgonites. Keenan's got a point here. They're not Gorgons, they're Gorgonites. So technically the Gorgons are the children of the Gorgonites. So the Gorgonites are the children of the Gorgons. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
The children of Medusa. So
the Gorgonites.
Are there like characters you can think of who are the children of monsters, like the sons of evil monster women?
Prahlad, Prahlad, and this is like one of the older forms. Like before Rama, there was a lion god of Vishnu. His name was Narasimha, so that's Prahlad, and then that's Prahlad's dad being ripped up open by the lion god.
Really?
And Prahlad's dad is like a prominent demon, in the Satya Yuga, and he was just like doing all these things to like live like 20 million years and all sorts of shit, and just like it was the ruler of like more than one world at that time, and he was just like kept torturing his son because his son was like had an affinity to pray and like kind of like be like, oh, this is the supreme. He's like, no, he's like, I'm better than any god. And to the point where, the god couldn't take it anymore. It came out as like this lion form out of like one of the pillars of the house and just ripped his intestines out. And no one could calm him down except like his wife, like the goddess. She like sits on his lap and like calms him down. And that's like a form like Lakshmi Narasimha. And that's like that's like my house god. It's called Deva. Everybody has their own house god.
That would be the gnarliest episode of Cops I'd ever heard of right there, actually. A lot went on that day.
Dare not call yourself God. You are no god.
Well, dudes, we're about at the end here. Is there anything also you want to cover, Eddie from Synchronous?
Yeah. There's tons of material. I wasn't so sure if you want to go over there, but forget about that one. I don't know what to say about that one. This is one.
Dude, people who skip their COVID vaccine are at higher risk of traffic accidents, according to a new study. You got to be careful out there. If you don't want to get in a traffic accident, you better be vaccinated because it's just, the chances out
especially in Teslas, right?
Yeah.
Dude, I just got vaccinated. I just got vaccinated for my hippie commune, basically, because I wanted to introduce Govinda to the hippie commune that we're from.
Oh, man, sorry.
I know. They made me get vaccinated as a gangster.
Couldn't you just identify as being vaccinated? It's 2022, it's like
exactly. For a while.
All right, this is a sore subject now. Oh, I don't know. There's been some crazy nuclear news. I mean, for one, they said, this is one of them. This is when this couple were caught sending nuclear data, just selling the nuclear secrets, but. At this
good time
point,
to be a Russian spy or Ukrainian spy. The best time to be a Ukrainian spy ever.
Russian wife, secret clearinghouse, the Americans.
I
Yeah.
haven't seen that series, but it sounds like it's verbatim. But
The one that I always recommend is I Led 3 Lives. That show from the 50s, I Led 3 Lives, and it's about a guy who is a communist and an American and a double agent, and he's constantly busting into like people that are having secret commie meetings in Chicago or Los Angeles or New York, and it's worth your time. Just had to bring it up.
Excitement, major intrigue.
This one that's pretty cool. The last royalty of Hawaii just died. The princess of Hawaii just died. She actually was 2 days younger than Queen Elizabeth II. So it's kind of a strange. Yeah, and also the volcano just died too. I mean, there was an eruption that's been going on for the last week, and it just stopped after she died. So you see that video down there? There's a warehouse that caught fire. There's a New York Police Department. It's an evidence depot.
New York evidence storage.
It reminds me of what does that remind you of?
Breaking Bad.
World Trade Center 7. Let's burn all the evidence. Just burn it to the ground. So I think something might be coming up. I don't know what they're burning in that.
I wonder how high that smoke would get you.
It's probably that's all crack. Actually, that's all crack. Just burning to go in.
That's why it's so black.
It was a hell of a week.
Okay, well, we can keep going.
That was
anti-chippers. Yeah, anti-chippers pretty good.
Yeah. Oh, that's the clash between India and China at the border. This happened yesterday. So all the Indian troops were screaming at them, but you can see all the Chinese soldiers in the background. There's like I don't know.
So they're throwing rocks at each other. Indians.
They're ready to beat them with poles.
That's China, or that's
the one you can. Well, over the mountain, those are Chinese. Those are Chinese over there.
Those are Chinese?
Yeah, and the Indians are behind the rock formation.
Like, fuck you, go back. Throwing rocks and shit at them.
Exactly.
Like, well, fuck me, fuck you.
It's like Einstein. He said World War IV is gonna be fought with sticking stones, right? So there you go.
There you go.
Oh yeah,
that's so good. Yeah.
That's a good
software that can detect Photoshop in any image. Sweats. Yeah.
Yeah.
The artificial womb though is huge. This is happening.
This one's going around, man. Do you know who made this video? I have no idea. I mean,
I'm glad you brought this up because the last couple of days, so yesterday had been waking up with Analog on, and we talked a bit about the baby farms, and we, because Mind Unveiled made a video recently called "Cabbage Babies" or something about that.
They made another one today about it too, actually.
It was because we've been pulling back. Like 5 years ago, we made a video with Ben. It's all about that and a lot more of the data on the orphan trans stuff. So Ben's talking to Mind Unveiled, and I think hopefully they're going to put even more data into this. I haven't seen the new one, but good. Still, guys, if you haven't seen it, see the original video from years ago because all of this stuff we're talking about, and it seemed crazy at the time to suggest, like we have the technology now, we just need to make it. I've worked even in 3D printing of pancreas, which is obviously pancreas is like the easiest organ to print, but still we can print babies. It can be done. And in vitro fertilization means that you have legal rights, but you could still be having 30,000 babies per year in some of these baby clinics. And we're talking about in the 19th century, the likelihood of there actually being human gestation clinics that were maybe as crazy as something like this. I mean, we really could be at that point.
Yeah, have abortions, but then we'll make your babies in a pod.
Yeah, will there be a whole new civilization to replace the last civilization that gets
lost? Has nobody seen those paws in Matrix? Oh my god!
Yeah, exactly. So Matrix. Yeah,
it's like this looks exactly like it.
They're telling you they're going to take the baby out of it, but I do see that neural link there, and I wonder. I wonder about
you
that.
will be battery. You will eat bugs and become batteries.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
Just feed it to you.
Nicolas Cage thought he was an alien as a child. Well, he was a smart boy. I don't know what you want me to say. Clearly, he was an alien.
Well, he must be from
I was
Saturn,
shocked. I found out I had normal organs. That happened to a lot of people, and they had to stop showing that scene from David Bowie's movie "Man Who Fell to Earth," where he pulls out his eye, because a bunch of people on drugs in the 80s and late 70s were like, "Maybe I'm an alien." No, and then they just hurt themselves. 93 comes up every day now. I heard 93% yesterday. Yeah.
93 most stylish
all the
people.
time too. That's
93
crazy.
most stylish people. Why not 100 most stylish people? Well, because 7 of them are Republican. No, but 93 is a good number for a lot of reasons. Man, we didn't even talk about Strange Angel, which is fine, but we're gonna have to do that soon. I don't know, guys.
Okay.
Strange Angel, if you haven't,
We're
We're gonna-
dedicate it next week. Yeah.
let's go deep into Strange Angel. So I haven't finished the show yet. I've only got like to the end of the first season. But oh my god! Except for the imaginary gay friend of Jack Parsons, the most of the show seems pretty accurate. Except also they make Jack Parsons seem like really negligible and like he's just waiting to explode, which I think is incorrect. I think the truth is that they just killed him, right? I mean,
well, the thing is that Ernest, this guy standing on the right, that's actually his alter ego. That's not a real person. That's actually his because they claim that he's supposedly a bisexual.
oh, it's his alter ego. Okay,
This is a secret identity where he would sneak into the gay bars and this and that.
Oh, and he became this guy, and that's why his wife. Okay, that makes sense. A similar Dr. Jekyll stuff. Truth Fairy, $10. Thank you very much. Says nice sync with ayahuasca, Eddie, and Grant Hancock's forward for the immortality key and the attempt to cancel him. Epic panel tonight. Thank you. Yeah, I think it's been pretty good. Isn't bad. Let me make sure I tell people where they can find your stuff, guys. If you go to Twitter, you can get Synchronous. You can find Eddie's work right here. Make sure you are clicked on getting all notifications, and because otherwise you might miss some of the stuff. But he's got the esoteric news, and it's definitely where I get my Twitter fix right now. 93 most stylish people. That's pretty good.
And I'm still banned from Facebook, so I will not be in the group. You guys can join the group on Facebook. I still got like 25 days left. So
yeah, I gave up on Facebook. I just kind of like mirror post my Twitter stuff now. Giant, also make sure you're following Giant. He's got some amazing stuff. Understands the Veda. Dude who's we're gonna be doing some show. I think tomorrow we'll have some surprise information. It'll be pretty cool. So very cool, Giant. Much love to you. And then also. Hey, Crypto Alchemist, you're here. Go to the guy. If you guys are interested in science and you want to see batteries be grown from crystals, definitely be checking out Crypto Alchemist and all the conversations he's having.
I'm so interested in that. That's tight.
Dude, news from Tartary. And then on Thursday, we have MK Canada, where we talk about the craziest news in the North. And then John Hutchinson from the Hutchinson Effect and his wife, Nancy, right? Pretty crazy, cool stuff. Sabri, is there a link you want me to share for people for you?
Not just yet. I'm gonna start. I'm just getting into this world right now. So,
guys, if you're looking for Sabri, type in Mantra Brahma in your gift bar, and you'll get a picture of him right away, and he'll be there for you all. It's actually really easy to do. I'm gonna show you just in case you think I'm kidding. Here, look, go press comment anywhere, press GIF anywhere, type Mantra Brahma. Boom, right there. I'm not kidding. It's that easy. All right, thousands of people, tens of thousands of people could be just like you. Well,
awesome.
Thank you guys for being here.
Sabri.
Sabri, thank you for being here.
Guys, thanks for having me here. And,
dude,
that's awesome.
Can't wait to do more.
We'll do more soon. We'll get Govinda on. We'll get the whole gang. And Eddie, thank you again for all the data. And we'll see you next time on Synctank.
All right.
See you, guys.